Good morning and welcome to this edition of Thursday Thought. Last weekend we made a quick trip to Lubbock, Texas for a wedding of one of our great nephews on Pat's side of the family. We went down on Saturday, had the wedding Sunday afternoon, and came back on Monday, Labor Day. Now the ceremony and the after party came off without a hitch, at least as far as I know, being only an observer and a member of the male gender. What do I know? However, while we were in that neck of the woods, we decided to meet up with a young couple there that our church was interested in helping financially. Now, Jace and Aria, not their real names, they're wanting to do mission work in Japan, if at all possible, and they'd be working with an established group of missionaries there already on the ground. And they've applied for some help from us in order to do that. Now, there have been issues, however, with Japan being closed to foreign travel due to COVID. The shutdown looks like it's going to be a long time thing, so Jace and Aria are now looking kind of at other possibilities here in the States. This couple is young, in their very early 20s, newly married, fresh out of seminary schooling, and I'm guessing barely making ends meet financially. He's from Wisconsin, she's from western Colorado. They haven't known each other all that long, and they've been married even less time than that. They have, to say the least, a rather long row to hoe in the next few years, just solidifying their marriage, their finances, their vocational endeavors, and all the other things that go with the making of a new family. The Japanese roadblock to their mission plans may actually turn out to be a blessing in disguise, because this may give them time to rethink their future and also time to cement their relationship with one another as well as with the in-law families and others. It will also give them time to rethink their plans and develop their service and missionary skills here in the USA, where the culture shock won't be as significant as a stint in Japan or some other nation might be. Well, we attended the church where Jace gave the lesson in the adult Bible class, then preached probably one of his first sermons to a congregation outside of his school work. We took them to lunch, and we had a great conversation with them in the span of about 2 hours in a booth at the Chili's on University Avenue in Lubbock. They told us that the church where Aria was from was looking for a minister and that they had applied there. We talked about some of the positives as well as the negatives of working in ministry in a place where one had grown up. We talked about some of the pitfalls of interviewing with a committee of church members who may or may not have experience in human resources or have an understanding of the role of the minister. We talked about several other topics related to ministry, congregational relationships, and the family life of a minister. We parted with a fondness and attachment for one another. We hope to keep the communication alive and be able to work in some way with them once they have a better idea of where God is leading them. So, why am I telling you, my Thursday Thought audience, all of this? What we did this past weekend can serve as a few reminders for us all. First, young people still have weddings. Oh, I know it isn't as much of a deal as it used to be. So many are setting up housekeeping without the legalities of a marriage nowadays, including my great-nephew and his now spouse, but there are still young people in this world who long for the security and stability of a marriage and even go to some expense to put on a wedding complete with the traditions that have been part of weddings for decades, if not centuries. Second, young people still have a desire to serve and make the world a better place. Jace and Aria are two such youngsters. Even though they're very new to the world of adulthood, they have a desire to make a difference, and that's a noble and honorable thing. And third, and this has nothing to do with either of the first two, if you travel through King County in northwest Texas, you need to stop at Guthrie and visit the general store there. Some of you may know that King County is one of the least populated counties, having a population of about 230 people. The county seat, Guthrie, is an unincorporated place, kind of a wide spot in the road. The King Ranch, famous in Texas lore even until today, spreads out over 350,000 acres of King County and a couple of other counties. King County is mostly scrub brush. There's some decent pasture there, and there's some interesting geology there as well. Now, if you need to use the restroom, and they are few and far between in that part of the country, the general store in Guthrie has a public restroom, but it's out back, and you need to get a key to access it. That key's available inside when they're open. And while you're inside, you can peruse the western wear, the boots, the groceries, the cold drinks in the cooler, and the other things that are for sale. Go ahead, buy a souvenir, some snacks, or maybe even a Coke in a small bottle. You can use the bottle opener that's hanging on the side of a table there. The ladies there are going to appreciate that, and if you'll and if you do that, you'll go away with a smile, content to know that there still are some common sense, down-to-earth places in the world, and Guthrie, King County, Texas, at the general store is one such place. Blessings.